This GTA situation is insane right now. Over 200 million people played GTA 5. Let that number sink in. Not 200 million copies sold, 200 million actual human beings who decided Los Santos was worth their time. And they kept coming back for over a decade. That is not a video game anymore. That is a cultural institution. And somehow Rockstar has to follow it up. $1 billion in 3 days when GTA 5 launched in 2013. GTA! 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 It made $1 billion in 72 hours. Not a month, not a quarter, 3 days. No movie, no album, no other game had done that at the time. It was the kind of number that makes accountants cry happy tears and game developers cry regular ones. And the game itself deserved it. GTA 5 was a genuine leap forward. 3 protagonists, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, each with their own story, their own personality, their own completely different energy. Michael was the burned out, retired criminal trying to hold his family together.
I'm rich, I'm miserable. I'm pretty average for this town.
Franklin was the ambitious kid trying to climb out of his circumstances.
You ain't got no respect. I got respect for reality.
And Trevor was Trevor, an absolute disaster of a human being.
Friends, all right? A lot of friends. I mean, things could get really messy.
Who somehow became the most beloved character in the entire series. Rockstar basically said, what if we made a character with zero impulse control and gave him a flamethrower and people lost their minds over it? For a moment it really did feel like the perfect open world game, and that feeling lasted. For years it was the benchmark. You want to make an open world? Better be as good as GTA 5. You want an engaging story? Better bring something close to what Rockstar pulled off. The bar was set and almost nobody cleared it. The cracks nobody wanted to admit. But here is the thing about a game that gets played for 10 straight years. Eventually the seams start to show, not through bugs or glitches, but through design choices that were never meant to survive that long. Take the map. Los Santos is iconic. The city itself is dense, layered, full of personality, but step outside the city limits and things get sparse. Nearly 70% of the GTA 5 map is mountains. Blaine County is massive. And what is in it? A lot of dirt, some meth. Trevor's house, which admittedly is a destination, but still, the truth is that map was never designed to be explored for a decade. It was built for a game that was maybe going to last 2 or 3 years before the next one came out. Spoiler, it was not fine because GTA 6 took way longer than that, and now GTA 5's map has been picked apart by millions of players who have memorized every corner of it. The illusion broke. People started noticing that most of the world exists just to look pretty from a distance, not to actually interact with. And when you're asking people to still buy this game in 2025, which they are somehow because GTA Online is still printing money, those empty mountains start to feel like a pretty stupid design decision in hindsight. Florida, man. The video game GTA 6 is set in Leonida, a fictional version of Florida, and honestly, that alone solves like half the problems GTA 5 had with its map. Florida does not have mountains. Florida barely has hills. What Florida does have is humidity, highways, swamps, beaches, retirement communities, strip malls, and the single highest concentration of unhinged news headlines per square mile of any place on earth. Florida is already a GTA game. Rockstar is just making it official. But the setting isn't just about geography. Rockstar didn't just call it Vice City and leave it there. They named the whole state Leonida, which is a significant choice. It suggests this isn't a game about one city with some empty space around it. It's a game about an entire region with multiple active areas, each serving a purpose. Think San Andreas from GTA 3's era, 3 cities, each with their own feel, connected by highways and countryside that actually had things in it. Rockstar seems to be going back to that philosophy, but at a scale that would make the PS2 version faint. Reports suggest there could be over 1,000 world events scattered throughout the map. For context, GTA 5's Strangers and Freaks missions were like a few dozen.
Do it for fuck's sake. Come on, I'ma show you. Come on, shit.
All right, then. Shit.
events.
1,000 events means every drive somewhere could have something happening around you, a car chase, a robbery, some guy fighting a pelican, Florida content basically, the death march problem. Here is where the story gets darker for a minute because the history of how Rockstar made games is not pretty. For years, the culture inside Rockstar was described by developers as a death march. GTA 4's development was reportedly so brutal that people described it as working with a gun to your head 7 days a week, nights, weekends, holidays. None of it mattered when the game needed to ship. Crunch was not just accepted, it was basically the entire business model. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 happened. That game took roughly 8 years to make and is widely considered one of the most technically impressive open world games ever built. The horse physics alone generated more think pieces than most games generate in total. But the cost of making it, in hours, in health, in people burning out and leaving, was enormous. After RDR2 shipped, it became impossible to pretend this approach was sustainable. Rockstar had to actually change flexible working conditions, internal restructuring, a genuine attempt to move away from the culture that had defined the studio for 2 decades. Whether they fully succeeded is a separate conversation, but the intention was there, and that shift matters for GTA 6 because a healthier studio, theoretically, makes better decisions. Dan Houser leaving was a big fucking deal.
I moved to America to do it and grew up doing it, and I was always living in...
Right in the middle of all this change, Dan Houser left Rockstar in 2020. If you don't know who Dan Houser is, he co-founded Rockstar Games with his brother Sam. He was the head writer behind GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 4, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. For most of Rockstar's history, the person most responsible for what those games felt like. The tone, the characters, the writing that made you actually care about pixels driving virtual cars through virtual cities. He left before GTA 6 was substantially underway, and then later confirmed he had zero involvement in its development. That is not a small thing to process. The man who essentially invented the modern GTA experience, the sharp satire, the layered characters, the dialogue that somehow made criminals feel human, was sat this one out.
Shit.
Fuck you! What the fuck?
Disrespectful little asshole.
I can't believe you did that. That's my TV.
You don't talk to me like that.
He said he thinks the game will be great, and maybe he's right, but his absence is a variable that nobody can fully account for until the game is actually in people's hands. The writing team at Rockstar is still talented, the studio is enormous, but there's a reason fans got nervous when this news came out.
He's a damn good writer, man. I know he's typing until his fingers bleed, you know, but I don't know. You know, it's
And pretending otherwise would be noob level denial. What GTA 6 is actually trying to be here is where things get genuinely interesting, because GTA 6 isn't trying to be GTA 5 with better graphics. The 2022 leaks, which were massive, one of the biggest in gaming history, gave a real window into what direction Rockstar is actually heading. The game has a female protagonist for the first time in the series, Lucia, and she's not a side character or a bonus. She appears to be a central part of the story, alongside a male co-lead named Jason. Bonnie-and-Clyde energy in a Florida setting, that's the vibe. This was always something Dan Houser wanted actually. He mentioned in an old interview that a female protagonist was something they thought about, that it hadn't felt right for previous games but could be fantastic for the right one. The Rockstar finally pulled the trigger, and the response was mostly positive, with some corner of the internet predictably losing their minds about it, because apparently some people are still weird about this in the year of our Lord 2025. But beyond the protagonist, the leaks pointed towards something more fundamental, a shift toward realism and immersion over pure chaos. GTA 5 was, at its core, a game that encouraged you to be as unhinged as possible. And that was fun. That was the point. But GTA 6 seems to be pulling back on that energy somewhat. The leaked footage showed a new police dispatch system with a timer. Cops don't just teleport in anymore. There's a response window, and you can actually see them being called. There's a surrender option. You can negotiate with officers officers when they arrive. For a franchise where the police AI has been the subject of mockery for literally 2 decades, this is a significant upgrade. GTA 5's cops were so dumb they would somehow forget you existed if you hid behind a bush for 30 seconds. It was equal parts hilarious and shittier game design. A love story in a GTA game? No, really. The relationship between Lucia and Jason isn't just a plot device. Leaks suggested that player actions could actually influence how their relationship develops over time. Decisions you make during missions, how you handle certain situations, these things could change the dynamic between the two characters. That's borrowed DNA from Red Dead Redemption 2's honor system. RDR2 tracked whether Arthur Morgan was a good person or a piece of garbage, and the world responded accordingly. Applying a version of that to GTA is a genuinely interesting design choice, because it means the story isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you participate in shaping. For a franchise that has always had great writing but somewhat passive storytelling, this would be a real evolution. You're not just watching Lucia and Jason's relationship unfold, you're making choices that determine what kind of relationship it becomes. That's a different kind of game than anything GTA has shipped before. The aesthetic shift nobody is talking about enough. Look at GTA 5's color palette. Green, grey, khaki. The branding was built around money. The green of cash, the grey of concrete, the washed out colors of a world that runs on greed and hustle. It matched the themes perfectly. GTA 5 was about the American obsession with wealth, about 3 guys chasing a version of success that kept moving further away no matter how fast they ran toward it. GTA 6's branding is pink and purple, neon, warm, Vice City colors, and that shift isn't just cosmetic. It reflects a completely different set of themes. GTA 6 is clearly interested in social media culture, in image and performance, in the way people construct identities online versus who they actually are. The first trailer leaned into this heavily, with new sticker jokes and influencer culture references, and the general feeling that this game is going to be a satire of the 2020s, the same way GTA 5 was a satire of the 2010s. The world has changed a lot since 2013. The things worth satirizing have shifted. Rockstar has always been sharp enough to meet the moment, and the aesthetic choices around GTA 6 suggest they know exactly what moment they're in. The pressure is honestly insane. Rockstar's own CEO, Strauss Zelnick, has said publicly that giving fans what they want isn't enough.
Rockstar Games is trying to create the best thing anyone's ever seen in entertainment, not just interactive entertainment. That's a tall order.
It has to be something you've never seen before. It has to be nothing short of perfection, which is an absolutely terrifying thing to say out loud about your own product. That's not a marketing line. That's a threat. That's someone standing in front of a $1 billion project and saying this needs to be perfect, and then going home and probably not sleeping very well. The budget for GTA 6 has reportedly ballooned into the billions. The gap between GTA 5 and GTA 6 will be over 12 years by the time it launches. The expectations are not normal expectations. They are the kind of expectations that would make a reasonable person want to go live in the mountains and never think about video games again. And yet, everything Rockstar has shown, every leak, every trailer, every design decision that surfaced, it all points toward a studio that genuinely believes they can clear this bar, not by making a safer version of GTA 5, not by playing it conservative, but by building something that makes GTA 5 look like the warm-up act. What comes next? GTA 5 defined a decade of open world gaming. That's not an exaggeration. Games were measured against it. Developers talked about it in interviews. Players compared everything else to Los Santos. It became the reference point for an entire genre. GTA 6 is not trying to be the next GTA 5. It's trying to make GTA 5 irrelevant. New setting, new protagonists, new systems, new themes, new culture, new scale. Almost nothing about this game is a direct continuation of what came before. It's a reset dressed up as a sequel. Whether it works is something only time and probably a lot of gameplay hours will tell. But the intention is clear. Rockstar isn't interested in nostalgia. They're not trying to give you Los Santos again with better draw distance. They're building something that's supposed to define the next decade the way GTA 5 defined the last one. And you don't do that by playing it safe. You do it by burning the old blueprint and starting from something new. If you enjoyed watching this, drop a like. It genuinely helps more than you think, and it lets me know you want more of this kind of deep dive.